Good evening, everybody, and let me start, Rick, by saying that was one heck of an introduction. My dad would have liked it, and my mom would have believed it. And to you and Nancy, I would just say how much we appreciate all you do for our men and women in uniform and all you do for folks here in the Commonwealth. You are both people who pay it forward every day, and we really appreciate it. Joyce, you left me some. All right. Can we give Joyce Kilhawick is here every single year. Grappa in hand, ready to go. God bless. So one of the things I admire the most about this organization is its focus on history. And I think sometimes we all forget that we sit on the shoulders of so many who came before us. And when you live in a world where everything's on the phone and it's 140 characters or 280, and that thing flips through thousands and thousands of messages every few days, I think sometimes we forget of what it was and who it was that got us to where we are. Now, the Constitution, the USS Constitution, to put it in 21st century terms, was undefeated and untied. 33-0. It fought skirmishes and conflicts and battles, not just in the War of 1812, where it was 5-0, but all the way up and down our coast and protected our sea lanes from 1798 to 1855. 57 years, undefeated. Beat that, Bill Belichick. Now, everybody talks about what magnificent structure it was, and it was. Just so happened that the wood it was made with and the construction of the ship itself made it extraordinarily resilient. So much so that those that opposed it really did think its ship was made of iron. It was made of wood. Tough as nails, but made of wood. But the thing that really made Old Ironsides special were the people who commanded it and the people who served on it. They knew that they were part of finishing the work of creating a great nation. They had purpose and a sense of being part of something bigger. I mean, when the revolution ended, that wasn't the last time we saw our friends from the UK. Or other folks from other places. And for 50 years, the folks who served on the USS Constitution stood their ground against all comers on behalf of the nation that they were taking from infancy to adolescence. And they were proud of the work they did. And they were honored to be part of a ship with such a spectacular history and a big-time reputation. And every year I come to this event and I think about whether we royally speaking, not just the people who are here, whether we really appreciate and understand what those who came before us committed to and sacrificed to make it possible for us to be part of the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th acts of the United States of America. And for me, that's what makes the USS Constitution Museum so special and so important. Because it really is, in some ways, a profound look back at those with whom we share a common sense of values, but most importantly, we owe for who they were, what they did, and what they made possible. So for me, this award is especially poignant and appreciated. And for those of you who don't know much about Charles Francis Adams, he was a mayor of Quincy back in the day, a good old-fashioned local official. Now, he wore a lot of other hats and he had a lot of other titles. But I've always said that people who serve in local government, boy, they are accountable. Your constituents know where you live. They know what your kids are up to. They know your phone number. And they're not afraid to tell you because they're your neighbor when they think you screwed up. And he had a sense of history. He was the one in 1904 who said, you know what? The legacy of this ship is important to the story of America. We need to make sure it gets repaired and restored and preserved so the story it tells and represents will be there forever to remind those who come with each successive generation about where they come from and who they owe for what they've got. So I can't tell you how incredibly grateful I am and honored that you would have chosen to make this award to me. And I'll tell you this, as governor, I accept that, and it will sit in my ceremonial official office. And hopefully people will come in and they'll say, what's that? And I'll tell them the story of the USS Constitution and why it's a story they should know and appreciate. Thank you very much.